What is going on, everybody? So, I recently played God of War Ragnarok on the ROG Ally, and I've tested this game on multiple platforms such as the PlayStation 5, Lenovo Legion Go, gaming laptops, and by far, the ROG Ally proves to be the best in performance when it comes to God of War Ragnarok. Now, this is with all default settings, so I didn't mess with any of the textures or frame generation, but with FSR 3.1 turned to quality and with frame generation enabled, I was able to get a stunning 70 to 80 FPS with this title. And I'm gonna be real, I didn't really expect much when it came to this game, especially since the Lenovo Legion Go only goes up to 45 FPS or sometimes 50 with frame generation enabled. Now, there are more pixels added, specifically 100 pixels, because the Legion Go does have a 16 by 10 display, while the ROG Ally has a smaller display that's only 16 by 9. Now, 16 by 9 isn't a bad thing, but when it's 7 inches, it's really not that big, especially in comparison to the entire ROG Ally. So going back to this handheld was kind of jarring, especially compared to the Legion Go. But that FPS is just magnificent. I honestly don't think any other platform can play as good as the ROG Ally. I've seen clips of God of War Ragnarok playing on Steam Deck, and it only goes up to around 50 to 60 FPS on average. So the 70 to 80 FPS is very much appreciated, especially since the ROG Ally is my main handheld. Mainly because I can take it anywhere. It's just so small, but not only is the ROG Ally small, it is by far the most powerful handheld on the market right now, especially with the ROG Ally X. Now, of course, a lot of people do not trust Asus, and sometimes including myself. They're very spotty with their Armory Crate and their current support. It seems like Asus has recency bias, even with their own hardware. My ROG Ally isn't currently getting supported very well, but it managed to play God of War Ragnarok basically perfect. So, suffice it to say, I would 100% recommend playing God of War Ragnarok exclusively on the ROG Ally. Now, this game did have some issues. If you are having some issues with God of War Ragnarok on the ROG Ally or the Legion Go, I do highly recommend switching that GPU VRAM to 6 gigabytes specifically for this game. Now, with other games like Resident Evil 4 Remake, you're going to need to bump that up to 8 gigabytes in order for it to not crash, like God of War does if you have your VRAM anywhere below or above 6 gigabytes. So yeah, that means that if you have your VRAM at 7 or 8 gigabytes, your ROG Ally is unfortunately going to crash with God of War Ragnarok. So I do highly recommend going into Armory Crate, which is awesome that you could simply go into the actual software for the handheld in order to change it to that different VRAM, opposed to going to the BIOS settings like with the Legion Go. You're going to have to reset the whole thing, and the screen is massive, so every time you go into the BIOS, you kind of get blinded by this BIOS menu or the initial menu before you go into the Lenovo BIOS official page. But yeah, God of War Ragnarok, I am just blown away by its performance on the ROG Ally. It's great to see Asus supporting games specifically on the ROG Ally, and sometimes it seems like they're supporting it better than their actual software. Not going to throw too much shade to these guys, but seeing the performance of God of War Ragnarok on this handheld does give me a little bit of hope for this handheld, or just the base version of this handheld for the future, because boy oh boy, it was pretty much able to handle this game like nothing. It was playing God of War Ragnarok like it was an old PlayStation 2 game. The battery life was exceptional, and the FPS skyrocketed at 1080p. And that's mostly medium settings. I bet if I turned up the textures to high, which I'm sure I did, the FPS would go down to 60. But considering that everything's at medium and God of War Ragnarok already looks amazing at medium settings, and also the ROG Ally screen is only 7 inches at 1080p, the thing pretty much looks like 4K anyway, I wouldn't be too picky with a lot of the settings, and I would mainly keep God of War Ragnarok on the ROG Ally at default settings to make it look the best and also play in the best possible way. So yeah, did you guys happen to play God of War Ragnarok on the ROG Ally, and how are you liking it? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Later.